Back from the break, Daniel Sally here inside the First Interstate Bank broadcast booth. That's usually after the second break. 37-35 the score. Montana State leads on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. 12 and a half minutes to go at halftime, but we got plenty of time to break down what we just saw in the first 20 minutes of action. Like I said, your score, Montana State leading by 2, 37-35. A pretty high-scoring half, and not exactly far out from what we expected. The Griz, they play in a lot of games like these. They're a high-scoring team, averaging about 70 points per game, but they're also allowing about 70 points per game. So we're about on par to meet with those averages in the second half. Looking at some first-half stats, starting with Montana State, 16 of 36 from the field and just 1 of 7 from the three-point line. Darian White with the only one making that three. That three, of course, sponsored by Wendy's. Bobcats with only 4 assists and 4 turnovers as well. Those 4 assists sponsored by Aware Mental Health Services. A lot of creating off the dribble for Montana State, especially with Darian White, who's leading the way for the Bobcats with 15 points. And right behind her with 6 apiece, Grace Beasley and Lexi Deedon. 4 points for Madison Jackson and 4 points for Culla Badbear. Looking over at the Lady Griz, they're 12 of 31 from the field, 6 of 14 from 3, and 5 of 6 from the free throw line. And as I talked about before the game, this Griz team, they love the middle drive and they love to kick it out and shoot threes. Well, those threes finally started falling late in the first quarter and into the second quarter, making 6 of them out of 14. So hopefully that number will slow down a little bit in the second half. Some individual numbers for Montana, and it's the 2 freshman guards off the bench for this Lady Griz basketball team. Matt Koenig with 12 points on 4 of 7 shooting. She's 2 of 2 from the free throw line. And Libby Stump, also a freshman off the bench with 11 points on 4 of 8 shooting, 3 for 4 from 3. And we didn't see much of Carmen Gfeller in the first half. She picked up that second foul in the first quarter, so Gfeller only playing about 5.5 minutes. We're going to see her add to the fuel for this Lady Griz basketball team out of the break. But Gfeller, not the best start to the ball game. She's 0 for 2, scoreless still, and again, picked up that second foul in the first quarter, and Coach Holsinger didn't want to roll the dice and not have his star player, all-conference returner, in the second half for a while, so she couldn't pick up that third, and the Bobcats benefited for a while, but then the Griz were able to hang in there thanks to a couple of superstar performances from their guards, their freshmen, their 2 freshman guards. And again, Bobcats in the lead, 37-35 here at the half. We're going to go ahead and take another break, and when we come back, we'll continue to break down the first half. We'll look ahead at the second half, and we'll talk to Sonny Smallwood, the associate head coach of the Bobcats. For now, at the break, 37-35, Montana State in the driver's seat on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. This is Bobcat basketball from Learfield.
Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check.
Welcome back in, Bobcat fans. Daniel Sally here inside the First Interstate Bank broadcast booth, bringing you Cat Griz women's basketball from the Dahlberg Arena, 37-35. Montana State in the lead on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. And for any of you who may be just tuning in, you missed quite the first half. It looked like the Bobcats were just going to come out here and jump on the Lady Griz by the way they came out of the gate. But the Lady Griz went on a 10-0 run to end the first quarter, and after one period of play, they were tied up, the Cats were leading 18-16. Then it ended up being 18-18 right after the break. And then after that, it was a dead even second quarter. Both teams just exchanging shots back and forth. And it was Darian White who was leading the way in the second quarter for the Bobcats, and she finishes the first half with 15 points. Now joining me on the halftime show is Sunny Smallwood, the associate head coach of the Bobcats. And Coach, got out to the start in this game that you wanted, had a 10-point lead. What did you see there at the end of the first quarter as the Lady Griz started to chip away and kind of get back into it?
Well, I think, first of all, overall, we're right where we want to be. You know, we've got a 2-point lead going into the second half. They started to go into the boards super hard. They've now taken over. They're, up on us by 2. We've given up a few O boards that we don't normally do. And then I think the second thing would be, from a defensive standpoint, we're giving up middle drives, and, that's giving them kicks, which right now they've got 6 pretty much uncontested threes. So we have to just make sure we're, following the scout and not giving up those threes.
And talk about Darian White's performance in the first half. 15 points, 6 of 7 from the field. She's the only kid on the team who's knocked down a 3, and it just seems like she's really rising to the occasion in this environment, in this big of a game.
Darian's a winner. That's why she's the preseason pick for MVP, because she knows what it's like to compete. She knows what it's like to bring your best game, knowing that you're going to get the opponent's best game. And she's doing Darian today, which I'm very proud of her.
And talking to the team at halftime, going into the second half, starting with a defensive standpoint, what are you guys looking for? I know, obviously, cutting off that middle drive. Is there anything else in particular, though, that you're hoping to see from the girls going into the second half?
I think we're going to tune up our inside game to where we know they're doubling us every single time, but we do have to make sure when we do take it to the hole that we're not shooting fadeaways and that we're taking it through them. And then also just keeping our spacing good and hitting the boards hard, and you already said it on the defensive end, no middle.
And, just again, with Grace and Darian having the performance they have been, they've scored a lot off the dribble, just 4 assists as a team in the first half. Are there any things you're looking for, like you said, spacing the ball, but are there some things you guys are going to try to do as a coaching staff to try and get the ball moving a little more and get that assist number up and kind of get some more rhythm shots going?
Well, I think we'll continue to make calls that put the ball in the hands of the people that are hot. And then secondly, we just have to make sure that we stay true to who we are and do what we do and be a great communicating team, because now we're going to be playing defense on the opposite end.
Sunny, that's all I got for you. Thanks for your time and good luck in the second half.
Thanks, Daniel.
That was Sunny Smallwood, the associate head coach of the Bobcats, joining me here on the Montana State halftime show. And just a few minutes to go before we resume play here at Dahlberg, 37-35. Montana State in the lead on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. And just looking ahead at some things in the second half. And I think it's something that I always look at halftime, and you look at Caitlin Lamardo and how valuable of a shooter she is to this Montana State team. She hasn't attempted a 3, and she's 0 for 1 on field goals, the only shot attempt being a long pass into a transition layup. So look for her, because she's had her head up. Again, she's risen to the occasion very recently, and I think they're going to make an effort to get the ball in her hands in this second half, because she is someone who can help them immensely shooting that outside shot. I think we're going to have quite the half of basketball ahead of us, so we're going to go ahead and go to break one more time, and we'll have second half action coming up next. This is Bobcat basketball from Learfield. Cat Griz women's basketball, the first matchup between the Bobcats and the Lady Griz on the season. And right now, after 2 quarters of play, Montana State in the driver's seat, 37-35. Starting the second half with the ball is going to be the Lady Griz. They'll go left to right across your radio dial. Bobcats will go right to left in the second half. And again, just a back and forth second quarter with the Bobcats taking a 2-point lead into halftime. It's Carmen Gfeller working from the far sideline, back in the game after only playing 5.5 minutes from the first half. Markson gets the ball screen out of the break. Near side on the wing, she has it. Now goes to the corner. Heward looking down low. It's deflected out of bounds by KJ Lamardo. 9:50 to go. Inbounding is Gina Markson from the baseline. Markson looking to throw it in, nothing doing. It's deflected by Madison Jackson. Cats can't steal away. Looks like Heward stepped on the baseline, though, out of bounds. Last touched by Montana. The Bobcats, will get it going the other way, going right to left. 37-35 on the first Interstate Bank scoreboard. 9:45 to go in the third quarter. Bobcats with their first possession in the second half. It's Darian White. White gets a screen from Deeden. Drives, stops at the elbow. Now throws it to the corner. Madison Jackson near side finds a cutting Deeden. Deeden low post, turnaround, baby hook, no good. Rebound brought down by Madison Jackson. She gets it after the deflection. White has it now. White drives, puts it up, and she's fouled. Did they not call it? No. Darian White will inbound from the baseline now. Bobcats get it off the deflection. White throws it long to Lamardo. Lamardo near side drives, kicks to the corner, looking for White, deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Heward, and Bobcats will inbound it again from the near sideline, right in front of their own bench. Lamardo to inbound this time for Montana State. Lamardo throws it out to the backcourt. It's Darian White. White looking for a screen from Deeden. Now Bad Bear is going to set it. She does. White gets downhill, pull up, floater. White off the glass, no good. Rebound Bad Bear. She's got to go up with it, and Gfeller's all over her. What do we got here? The jump ball possession arrow will favor Montana State. Lamardo inbounding from the baseline again. 2 seconds on the shot clock. She throws it in. Deeden, jumper off the backboard, no good. They're going to say that didn't hit the rim, and the Griz will get it back. 37-35, Montana State leads by 2 on the first Interstate Bank scoreboard. 9:07 to go in the third quarter. Taking the ball up the floor for Montana is Gina Markson. Markson across the timeline, picked up by Jackson. Far side, she gets a screen from Burton Oliver, now works to her right. Markson to Fatkin, far side now on the wing. Fatkin guarded by Lamardo, takes her off the dribble, now switched on to Jackson. Looking for a cutter, it's Gfeller off the glass, no good. Nice pass that time from Fatkin, but Gfeller couldn't finish it, and the Cats get a break. Up near side, it's Darian White, down low, Bad Bear. Bad Bear in the paint, spins her right back to her left, puts it up off the glass. She is fouled. Only a matter of time. She had to get to the free throw line eventually. Now she will. Kola Bad Bear with 2 free throws coming up. Montana State basketball is brought to you in part by 811. Call before you dig. Know what's below. Tap, click, or call 811 before you dig. Brought to you by Montana, 811.org. Bad Bear puts up the free throw. It's good. She'll shoot one more. Cats lead by 3. 38-35 on the first Interstate Bank scoreboard. 8:37 to go in the third. It's Bad Bear at the line. One more on the way. She knocks it down, and the Cats lead by 4, 39-35. Across the timeline with the ball is Gina Markson. She's picked up at half court by Madison Jackson. Markson waiting for the screen. She's got Burton Oliver and Gfeller waiting for her at the elbow. Gfeller with it now at the high post. She's guarded by Jackson. Looking to take her off the dribble. She does. Spins back to right. White helps offensive steal. Here comes Darian White up the near side in transition. White crossover, pull-up, floater. It's good. And how about the handle from Darian White? That was excellent. Markson across half court, and Coach Holsinger wants a timeout. 8:07 to go in the third quarter, 41-35. The Bobcats lead by 6 on the first Interstate Bank scoreboard. Media timeout, so we'll take it. This is Bobcat basketball from Learfield. scoreboard. And it's, again, Bobcats starting the second half off with a little 3 quick points, and they lead by 6, 41-35. 4 quick points. And it's Markson out of the timeout, going left to right. She finds Barch near side. Barch looking for the Barry at G-Feller. Bad Bear's waiting for her, though. And Barch passes it up top again to Markson. Markson crosses over to her left, gets downhill. Nice job by Jackson picking her up. Fatkin getting to the elbow. She kicks it back out to Markson. Markson step back 3 off the rim, no good. Rebound brought down by Darian White. And great box out there by Cola Bad Bear. And here come the Bobcats. White, far side, throws it across to Lamardo. Lamardo driving baseline, dumps it off to... well, nobody. Danny Barch deflected it out of bounds. Taylor Jansen, we're also seeing again for the first time in a while. At the half, she only played about 5 minutes of action because she, again, like Carmen G-Feller, picked up 2 fouls. So Taylor Jansen played 4 minutes, in the first half. But now she's back in. They could use her shooting prowess as White inbounds from the baseline. White throws it long into Lamardo. Lamardo back to White in the corner. White, she's got space. She's going to work up top now. 15 seconds on the shot clock. She's calling for motion. Goes to the corner. Open 3. Taylor Jansen. Got it! Taylor Jansen from beyond the arc, and the Cats lead by 9. 44-35. A great run by the Bobcats as they score 7 unanswered points to open this second half. Sammy Fatkin down the lane. Picks up, and we got a double dribble. She picked up that dribble, looking for the post up, and put it back on the ground. And now Grace Beasley, Mara Dykstra checking back in for the Bobcats. All right, folks. Bobcats lead 44-35 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. 7:09 to go in the third quarter. Inbounding from the baseline is Mara Dykstra. Dykstra to White, and it'll be Darian White taking it across half court. White calls the play. She's going to pick up the screen from Jansen to the elbow. She works back to Dykstra. Dykstra to Jansen, low block, back into the corner. 3 from Beatty, off the rim, no good. Rebound deflected and rebounded by Danny Barch. Barch gets it to Koenig, and Koenig and Libby Stump both back in the game for Montana. Those two have been the superstars off the bench for this Griz team. Stump, far side on the corner. She drives around White, looking to go middle. She gets it out to Barch. Barch, jab steps, now gets to Fatkin. Fatkin guarded by Beatty, dumps it off to G-Feller. White gets a hand on it, deflected, stolen away by Montana State. Big time stuff there by Taylor Jansen, and Darian White leads it the other way. White near side on the wing. Crosses over, works to her right side, kicks it back to Dykstra. Dykstra's going to drive with her left hand, get stopped at the baseline, and pass it back out to White. White calling for the screen from Jansen. She's going to dribble to her right hand and hand it off to Beasley. Beasley crossover, looking to get to the rim, pulls up, off the glass, it's good! Grace Beasley having a big-time game, and now the Bobcats lead by 11. A 9-0 run to start the second half for the Bobcats. 6:03 to go in the third quarter, and they lead 46-35 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. Immediate timeout. We'll go ahead and take it. This is Bobcat basketball from Learfield. Montana State in the driver's seat here in the second half, 46-35, and opening the half on a 9-0 run, previously led by 2. The Lady Griz yet to score in the second half, and to quote my good friend Gary Turcotte, those first 3 minutes of the second half, ever so important. Bobcats setting the tone here in the second half as Markson takes it out of the timeout to the far side. She's worked on Darian White. Markson to the far side. She passes to Stump. Stump to G-Feller at the high post. Dykstra backs off. Pump fake. G-Feller pull-up shot, no good. G-Feller just not her day right now as the rebound is pulled down by the Bobcats. Beasley to the other end. Kicks it out to Beatty. Beatty drives baseline. Picks up her dribble. Looking to get it out to White. She does. Now 20 seconds on the shot clock. Darian White will call a new play for the Bobcats. White looking for some help. 12 seconds on the shot clock now. She's going to pass it far side to Beasley. Beasley now atop Jansen. Jansen dribbling to the right side. They're going to look for the post-up of Beatty. Instead, White has it outside. White, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Got to do something. She tries to throw an entry pass. It's taken away by the Lady Griz. Far side, Markson. Markson, guarded by White. Dribbles to her left, passes to the corner. Barch, cut off by Dykstra, and a foul called. Cola Badwer will check back in for Montana State. Mara Dykstra now on the game. That's her first foul. 4 on the Bobcats now here in the third quarter, so next one for them will mean bonus for the Lady Griz. Inbounding from the baseline is Markson. Markson throws it in. Here's a pull-up from Koenig. Shot up, no good, and a foul called on Libby Stump. Correction, foul called on Lamardo, not Stump. Stump got the rebound, but it was after the whistle, so that's not going to do us any good. 46-35. Montana State leads by 11. 5:03 to go in the quarter. Free throw up and good, and the Griz score their first point of the half. Before Koenig takes her second, Montana State basketball is brought to you in part by Interwest Moving and Storage, which is the official moving company of the MSU Bobcats. Second free throw good, and it's back to a 9-point Bobcat lead. 46-37 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard with 4:57 to go in the third. Here comes Beatty on the other side. Pull-up jumper at the elbow. Beatty, nothing but net. Big bucket there by Leah Beatty, and she gets going now. That's her first bucket of the ball game. Koenig across half court, and Beatty could be a huge lift offensively for Montana State this afternoon if she can catch fire. Koenig to her left on Bad Bear, puts it up off the glass, no good. G-Feller can't pull down the rebound. Foul called on Taylor Jansen. Yeah, that's Taylor's third foul. Lexi Deaton will check in and give her a rest. So nice little stretch there by Taylor Jansen. She hit the three, but picks up the third foul, and Lexi Deaton will check in to give her a rest. Deaton and Bad Bear in the front court now for Montana State. Beasley out there with Lamardo and Beatty in the backcourt. Up top, it's Danny Barch out of the inbound. She passes near side. Markson, 3 over Beatty off the rim, no good, and a foul called on Matt Koenig. Grace Beasley got hammered, and that's going to give the ball back to the Bobcats. That's now just 2 fouls here in the second half on Montana. 4:27 to go in the third quarter, and inbounding will be Lexi Deaton. Grace Beasley to take the ball up the court for Montana State. Beasley, far side of the court. Looking for the screen from Bad Bear. She picks it up and gets downhill. Beasley, jab step, fade away. It's good! Grace Beasley getting her defender going downhill, pulls it back and knocks down the shot. She is having one heck of a ball game as the Griz, it's Koenig, throws the ball up ahead into the front court in transition, right out of bounds at their own bench, and the Bobcats turn them over. 50-37. Cats lead by 13. Beasley whips it down court. Beatty's got space. Dumps it to Bad Bear. Bad Bear in traffic off the glass, and it's good. Bobcats lead by 15. 52-37. 3:56 to go in the third quarter, and a foul called on Lamardo in transition. And that is a great play just now by Grace Beasley as she throws it up ahead. Leah Beatty was there with tons of space. Beatty worked baseline, just dumped it off to Bad Bear, and Bad Bear did get fouled hard, but they're not going to call it. Bad Bear makes the shot nonetheless, and the Cats lead by 15. Their largest lead of the ballgame, 52-37 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. Koenig passes near side to Stump. Stump, and a foul called on Grace Beasley. I mean, come on. Darian White's going to get back in the game. That's 3 on Grace Beasley. And Beasley having a heck of a game. We'll see her again in the fourth quarter. Beasley right now in double figures with 10 points, 5 of 8 from the field. She's got 3 rebounds as well. I mean, just fantastic. So we're in the bonus, as I mentioned. At the free throw line, it's Stump. First free throw up on the way is good before her second. Montana State basketball is brought to you in part by First Interstate Bank. At First Interstate Bank, it's about supporting our communities and cheering on our teams. Thank you for letting us be your trusted community bank for more than 50 years. First Interstate Bank, built for you. Member FDIC. Second free throw is up and good from Stump, and it's now 52-39. Bobcats lead by 13 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. 3:43 to go in the third. Darian White to the other end, right off the bench, pulls up floater, and she is fouled. Darian White will head to the line for two, and they just cannot keep Darian White from getting downhill right now. I mean, they're trying to get up and get in her face a little bit on the perimeter to stop her, but she's just too quick. And so then they're playing catch-up when she gets downhill. Gets a lot of contact on the wrist there. White at the line. Her first free throw on the way is no good. In and out before her second. Montana State basketball is brought to you in part by Rocky Mountain Credit Union, supporting Bobcat wins for over 75 years and counting. By Members' Choice, this financial institution is not federally insured. Each account is insured up to $250,000. White makes the second, splits the pair. And we got a turnover forced in the backcourt by Darian White, but now the score 53-39. Cats lead by 14 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. Inbounding is Leah Beatty. Big-time defense in the backcourt by Darian White. Beatty throws it into the backcourt. Darian White with it again. White to the elbow. Beatty has it again. Jab step, pump fake. Beatty with a little one-on-one look here. She's going to work to her right, spin back to her left. Step through, move off the glass. Leah Beatty, I say it to her every day in practice. She is unguardable, and she gets to the cup that time, and the Cats lead by 16. 55-39 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. 3:14 to go in the third. Markson loses it, blocked away by Darian White, out of bounds. Last touch by White, and the Grizzlies will keep it on their baseline. 55-39 the score. It's been all Bobcats here in the third quarter. They're outscoring the Griz 18-4 in the second half. Markson inbounding. She throws it in near side. Fatkin with it. Fatkin up top to Markson. She's guarded by Deedon now off the switch. Markson to her right side. Kicks it back to Fatkin. Fatkin looking to get downhill on Lamardo. Can't go anywhere, though. Kicks it back to Markson. Deedon's going to let her have the three. It's up. No good. Rebound. Deflected by Lamardo and pulled down by White. Here comes White in transition. Throws it up ahead to Beatty. Beatty. She's been feeling it. She finds Lamardo the trailer. Lamardo pulls up at the elbow. Jumper off the rim. No good. Rebound pulled down by Beatty. Though she's going to take it, reverse it, pass it to Bad Bear. Bad Bear out to Lamardo. Three from Lamardo on the way. Got it! KJ Lamardo, her first three of the ball game. And the Cats lead by 19, 58-39. 2.5 minutes to go in the third. G-Feller on the other end. Quickberry tries to step through on Bad Bear. Bad Bear takes it right from her hands, and the Bobcats push it the other way. Beatty, far side, passes it back to White. White's going to slow it down now. 2:18 to go in the third. Bobcats can take their time. Montana State outscoring U of M 21-4 in the third quarter. Darian White taking her time with the dribble. Picks up a screen from Bad Bear, gets downhill. Pull up, floater, White off the rim, no good. Rebound brought down by Sammy Fatkin. Fatkin picked up by White at half court. Switched on to Deedon in the screen, loses it, and what do we got here? Oh, okay, a foul on Lexi Deedon, a little hand check there. 1:50 to go in the third quarter. Cats still lead by 19, 58-39 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. At the line, it's Fatkin. They're going to talk about something. Oh, they got to get one of the Bobcat players into the key there. But Fatkin, as she steps to the line, Montana State basketball is brought to you in part by the Billings Clinic. Join Champs New Kids Club, presented by Billings Clinic Bozeman. Your $25 membership fee gets you game tickets, Bobcat gear, and more. Sign up today at msubobcats.com/Champs Kids Club. Second free throw on the way, and it's good from Fatkin. She hits the pair. The Cats lead 58-41. Deedon inbounds to White, and White will push it across half court. White up the far side. Passes it out top, Deedon. Deedon takes a dribble to her left, fakes the handoff, now gets it back to Beatty. Beatty downhill, picks up her dribble, throws it out to Lamardo. Lamardo, near side Beatty. Beatty, down low to Deedon. Deedon steps into traffic, puts it up. It's good. Lexi Deedon going to work on the low block, and the Cats lead 60-41. 1:23 to go in the third quarter. It's been all Bobcats in the second half. Markson, guarded by Lamardo, drives downhill, passes it out to Stump. Stump up top, working to her left, tries to get by Beatty, pulls up for a jumper and knocks it in for two. Inbounding is Deaton. White up the far side. 1:04 to go in the third quarter. Montana State 60, Montana 43. Bad Bear hands it off to to White. White goes inside to Deaton. Deaton spins through left, fade away off the rim, no good. Rebound brought down by Danny Bart. She'll whip it over to Markson. Markson drives, kicks out to Barch. Barch the trailer. Over towards the right side, kicks to the corner. Markson can't get anywhere, goes up top to Stump. Stump having a heck of a game, takes the three from the top. She knocks it in. And I'll tell you, Libby Stump and Matt Koenig, those two cannot miss from beyond the arc for the University of Montana. It's back to a 14-point Bobcat lead, 60-46. They're going to try and trap White in the backcourt and get the ball out of her hands. Deaton has it. And now how is that not a foul? Deaton gets on it. She gets it back to White. 15 seconds on the shot clock, 18 in the game clock here in the third. White pulls up for a floater. She knocks it in. Even when you double team her in the backcourt, you still cannot guard Darian White. And the Cats lead 62-46. 5 seconds to go. Markson has it on the far side. Markson, step back, deep three. She cashes it. Wow. Big time three by Markson, and that'll do it after 3 quarters of play. Your score on the first Interstate Bank scoreboard: Montana State 62, Montana 49. We'll have fourth quarter action of Cat Griz coming up next. This is Bobcat basketball from Learfield. The first Interstate Bank scoreboard after the Cats outscored the Griz 25-14 in the third quarter. So it's a 13-point Cat lead, 62-49. It'll be Griz basketball coming out of the break. Going left to right across your radio dial, it's Gina Markson, guarded by Madison Jackson. Markson's going to work to her right, look to get the ball to Stump. She does after Beasley deflects it. Stump takes a dribble to her left. Stops at the elbow, now passes near side to Fatkin. Fatkin, jab steps, looking to go inside. She can't. Now she dribbles, step back jumper. Fatkin off the rim, no good. Rebound pulled down by Taylor Jansen, and she'll hand it back to White. White across half court. Up the near side. Dribbles to her left, now throws it down to the post. Bad Bear reverse laying off the glass. It's good. That's big-time stuff there by Kola Bad Bear. Unstoppable if you're not sending a double team at her in the low post. And the Cats lead 64-49. 9:21 to go in the fourth. Gina Markson up top. She's guarded by Jackson. She's going to get that high ball screen. Near side, Fatkin. Fatkin downhill, looks to get it inside to Perogue. Perogue kicks out, corner three, Stump off the rim. That one's no good. Rebound brought down by Taylor Jansen. And Libby Stump's having one of those kinds of games where you see the shot go up and you're 100% certain it's going in. So to see that one bounce off, very relieving for someone with interest in the blue and gold today. Near side, it's Grace Beasley. She drives off a screen, passes it to Bad Bear. Bad Bear drives downhill, puts up a floater, no good. Rebound pulled down by Fatkin. Fatkin will work it up the near side. Now transition in towards the middle. Fatkin stops in the mid post, passes it back out top to Heward. Heward to Markson. Markson pump fakes, works to the elbow, now drives downhill, kicks. Fatkin three from the wing over White off the rim, no good. Bad Bear deflects it and a foul called on Kola Bad Bear. She tried to get up over Perogue there on the rebound and just didn't have the positioning, fouled her on the arm, and now Carmen Gfeller is checking back in for Montana. Inbounding from the far baseline is Gina Markson. Markson out there with Stump, Fatkin, Heward, and Gfeller. Small lineup for the Griz. Markson near side with it. 8:28 to go in the ballgame. Cats lead by 15. Markson stops at the mid post, throws it far side to Fatkin. Fatkin looking for Gfeller, throws it straight out of bounds, and that's a turnover by Montana. No, they're going to say it was deflected. I missed that from over here. But last touch by the Bobcats. The Lady Griz will keep it. 11 seconds on the shot clock. 8:21 to go in the ballgame. Markson inbounding from the baseline. Throws it into Gfeller. Gfeller, spin move to her right, puts it up, and it is no good, but she's fouled. Kola Bad Bear called for that one. 8:17 to go in the ball game. Cats lead by 15, 64-49, and now heading to the free throw line for two shots is Carmen Gfeller. Gfeller at the stripe. Takes a couple bounces. Free throw up, and it's good. Gfeller on the season shooting 82.5% from the free throw line before her second. Montana State basketball is brought to you in part by the Bobcat Club. Bobcats need your support to go for the win. Donate to the Bobcat Club's 3 to Win campaign to reach our $3 million goal, supporting student athletes. 64-51, Bobcats lead by 13. And don't forget, folks, Giving Day for Montana State Athletics coming up next February 15th through 16th, and a traveling violation called on Taylor Jansen. And that's a missed call, to put it simply. But that's all right. 64-51. Cats lead by 13. 8:08 to go in the ballgame. Far side, it's Gina Markson. Markson gets the screen from Gfeller. Now near side, she switched on to Deeden. She's looking for Stump. Beasley denying that ball hard. They throw it to the corner. Skip pass three from Heward. Long, no good. Rebound pulled down by Beasley. That was Heward's first three-point attempt of the game. And now Beasley will bring it up the near side handoff. White. Down low, with it is Jansen. Beasley, three on the way. Got it! Grace Beasley buries the three, and the Cats are up by 16. 67-51, 7:37 to go in the ball game. Gina Markson, far side for Montana. She picks up the screen from Gfeller. Switched on to Deeden up top. She works it near side now to Fatkin. Fatkin looking for the pass into Gfeller. Hard front from Jackson. They find Stump. Stump three, no good. She must be cooling off. Rebound, Madison Jackson. She'll pass it out to White, and White will get it across the timeline. 7:15 to go. Cats with a nice lead, but they would like to add. No lead is safe. You don't want this crowd to get back into it as White throws it inside to Deeden. Deeden back to the basket, loses it. It's deflected, taken away by Montana. We got a tie-up possession arrow favoring MSU. 11 seconds left on the shot clock, so going to have to be a relatively quick shot for Montana State. Beasley will inbound from the baseline. So it's Beasley, Jackson, Lamardo. They're going to bring Beatty in for Jackson. In the front court right now, Lexi Deeden and Taylor Jansen. Those two play awfully well together. All right, here we go. Inbounding is Beasley. Beasley looking to throw it in. She does. Lamardo right back into Beasley. Quick jumper from the short corner. Beasley, no good. Rebound brought down by Montana. It's Matt Koenig working up the near side. 67-51. Cats lead. 6:53 to go in the ballgame. Koenig working it to the high post. Gfeller has it now guarded by Deeden. Kicks it out far side. Fatkin Takes the three over Beatty, out of the rhythm, off the rim, and no good. Rebound pulled down by Lexi Deaton, and she'll hand it off to Grace Beasley. Beasley across half court. Up the far side. She crosses over, back to her right, now to her left again. Beasley still dribbling outside. Looking to get inside, but she can't. Trail three. Taylor Jansen off the rim, no good. Rebound deflected long by Lexi Deaton, and it's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by Sammy Fatkin. If she let that ball go, it was, I think, either Deaton or Lamardo. I couldn't see which one got a hand on it. Tipped it back towards the corner. She would have just let it go. It would have been out of bounds, Griz ball. But she gives the Cats a fresh 20 seconds on the shot clock. Beasley will call the play and now pass it out top to Lamardo. Near side Beatty. Back to Lamardo. Open three. Lamardo off the rim. No good. Rebound brought down by Libby Stump. Stump ahead to the other end. She's going to drive the lane. Picked up by Jansen. Stump with the pull-up jumper. No good. Foul called on Taylor Jansen. Tough day for Taylor Jansen on the foul count. That's her fourth. Checking in is Cola Badbear. Taylor will head to the bench. And going to the free throw line is going to be Libby Stump. As she does so, Montana State basketball is brought to you in part by Bridger Brewing. Bridger Brewing Three Forks is now open for lunch and dinner. Stop by Wednesday through Sunday to enjoy our delicious food, craft beers, and cocktails. Bridger Brewing beers are now available at your favorite grocery store and gas stations across Montana. Cheers to every journey being better than the last. First free throw from Stump up and no good. Stump at the line for one more. It's up, and she knocks it in. So she splits the pair. It's a 15-point Montana State lead. 67-52 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. Beasley, near side Lamardo. Now back to Beasley. Beatty was open. They didn't see her, though, with the full court press on, so Beasley will get the Cats into their offense. Lamardo, far side. Throws it back to Beasley in the corner. Beasley crosses over, now works baseline. Beasley tries to pass out to Lamardo, and Fatkin comes up with it. Fatkin driving Lamardo, and that's an offensive foul. They're not going to call it an offensive foul, though. Armbar to the gut, but KJ, the one called for the foul there on the shot. Darian White checking back into the game for Montana State. Heading to the line is Sammy Fatkin for two shots. Fatkin steps up to the line. Bobcats lead by 15. First free throw up, no good. Before her second, Montana State basketball is brought to you by the Come On In. Bozeman Come On In Hotel and Suites is a proud sponsor of MSU Athletics and the Montana State Alumni Association. The Come On In allows you to escape the ordinary while they're enjoying their numerous hotel and guest room amenities. Visit ComeOnIn.com to book your stay today. White gets it across half court. The second free throw is good from Fatkin. It's 67-53 Bobcats on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. Darian White up high. They're going to call the play for White, 15 on the shot clock. Here comes Deaton, set the screen for White. Instead, White's going to pass it to Deaton. Deaton up high, hands it off to Beatty. Beatty stops at the elbow, dumps it down to Deaton. Deaton takes a dribble, blocked by G-Feller. Rebound pulled down by Stump. Here comes Stump the other way for the Griz. Stump picked up by Beatty. Working downhill, kicks it out. Koenig, three on the way. It's good. 67-56. The Cats' lead is cut down to 11. Full court press coming from the Griz. Deaton throws it into the front court. It's knocked loose and taken away by the Griz. With it is Koenig, near side. Koenig finds a cutter. Fatkin blocked by Deaton. Rebound pulled down by Lexi, and she's going to give the ball to White. Big time block there by Deaton. Near side, White throws it down low. Bad Bear looking to go to work. She's double teamed, kicks it out. Three from Lamardo. Oh, off the rim, no good, and a foul called on Leah Beatty going for that rebound. Oh, no, who'd they call it on? I thought it was on Beatty. We got immediate timeout. That foul was called on Danny Barch, so the Bobcats will keep the ball. 67-56. Cats lead by 11 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. 4:31 to go in this ball game. Don't go anywhere, folks. This is Bobcat basketball from Learfield. Back from the break, Daniel Sally here inside the First Interstate Bank broadcast booth. Your score on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard: Montana State 67, the Lady Griz 56. Some big shots here in the fourth quarter by Montana, and now the Griz are back within 11 as Darian White out of the timeout will inbound from the baseline. White throws it long into Bad Bear. Bad Bear out top. Passes it far side to Lamardo. Lamardo dribbles to her left. Markson's going to try and steal it. Now she hands it back to White. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Screen coming from Bad Bear. White gets downhill, stops at the elbow, pump fakes, throws it to Deaton. Deaton turns. 5 on the shot clock. They got to do something. White gets downhill. 2, pull-up jumper. White off the rim, no good. Offensive rebound. Leah Beatty deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Barch. No. And now they're going to review it. The baseline official didn't see it. They went to the help from the sideline official on the far side. And they're going to see if they can review this, I think. Okay, they're talking about review. I'm not really sure what the rule is there. Either way, Danny Barch will inbound. It looked like his last touch by Barch, but either way, the Griz have it going the other way. Cats have an 11-point lead, 67-56. Koenig goes to the high post. G-Feller jab steps to her right, now spins back. Bad Bear ties her up. We got a jump ball possession arrow. Favors the Lady Griz, so they'll keep it. Inbounding from the baseline is going to be Markson. 3:57 to go, so we're under the 4-minute mark. Montana State leads by 11, 67-56 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. Markson throws it into G-Feller. It goes long. G-Feller chases it down outside the three-point line. She's going to look to take Bad Bear one-on-one. Tries to get by her. Stops. Pump fakes blocked by Bad Bear and by Deaton. They both got a hand on it, and Beatty has it going the other way. Beatty near side. Looking to get it to White. They're face guarding Darian White when she doesn't have the ball, and frankly, I can't blame him. Deaton, from the block. Baby hook, no good. Deflected out of bounds. That one, I'm going to say last touch by Lamardo on that one. Okay, out of bounds. Last touch by KJ Lamardo. Madison Jackson and Mara Dykstra checking back in for the Bobcats. Deaton's going to get a rest. 3:39 to go. Bobcats still lead 67-56. Barch inbounds. With it is Koenig. Koenig working across half court, picked up by Lamardo. Koenig with her left hand picks up the flat screen from G-Feller. Barch now up top to G-Feller. G-Feller pump fakes, passes it near side to Stump. Stump drives, helped off by Bad Bear. Pull-up jumper from the block is good, and we're back to single digits, 67-58. 3:22 to go in the ballgame. Darian White looking to break the press by her own, as waiting for her at half court is Danny Barch. She passes it near side to Lamardo, now back to White. 3:13 to go, 20 seconds on the shot clock. White can take her time getting the Bobcats into something here. Got to use the clock as your friend here. 9-point lead, 67-58. 3 minutes to go now. White drives behind the back. Spin move back to right. Floater. White. Oh, my goodness. The spin move. It never fails. 69-58, 11 points. The Cats lead, and 2:52 to go. To the other end. Koenig drives. Shot up. No good. Rebound brought down by White. All right. 2:45 to go. 69-58. Cats lead by 11. They can take their time. They're in a good place here. Guarding out on the perimeter is Matt Koenig, putting some pressure out top on Darian White. They're going to let that shot clock run down just a little bit before they get into something. 12 seconds now. White looking to make a move. They're going to bring the screen up. Looking to the near side. White goes behind the back. Floater again from White off the back iron. No good. Rebound brought down by Koenig, and the Griz will push it up to the other end. Koenig kicks it out. Markson drives. Markson looking for something with the right hand off the glass. She gets the roll, and it's back to a 9-point Bobcat lead. 69-60 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. Dykstra in the backcourt. She throws it long, finds Jackson. Jackson stays in bounds. Coach Binford wants a timeout, and she gets it. 30-second timeout by Coach Binford. 2 minutes to go in this ballgame. Your score on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard, 69-60. And when the Bobcats inbound out of the 30-second timeout, they'll have 21 seconds on the shot clock. 2 minutes even to go, and they gotta come up with a little plan here of how they're gonna deal with this pressure in the backcourt, because it's not going anywhere for these final 2 minutes. But right now, like where we're at, 9-point lead, 69-60 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. I want to remind you that Montana State basketball is brought to you in part by the Dairy Farmers of Montana. Fuel your health. Not only is dairy delicious, but it also promotes health as well. Just 3 servings of dairy a day improves overall wellness and may reduce the risk of developing some chronic diseases. It's a quick, convenient, and economic way to make sure you are staying strong and healthy on and off the field. Also, DoorTech, serving all your garage door needs. DoorTech is raising the door on quality. All right. Inbounding from the near side will be the Montana State Bobcats. They lead 69-60 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. 2 minutes to play. Inbounding is KJ Lamardo. Lamardo looking for White. White gets it in the corner. She's trapped. White going to call another timeout. Good move by Darian White there. The Bobcats have 3 timeouts left. That'll go down to 2 now. But a nice move by Darian White. And they threw it into that little soft spot right there in between half court and the baseline where they meet instead of throwing all the way in the backcourt. So all of a sudden White has no space to work with 2 defenders there, and the half court lines in theory serving as that 3rd defender, the sideline serving as the 4th defender. But 1:57 to go now. A couple seconds ran off there, and the Bobcats lead 69-60 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. That was just a 30-second timeout, so the Cats will inbound from the near sideline once again. It looks like they're going to put Grace Beasley on the floor to get an extra ball handler. So now it's Beasley who will inbound right by half court. They're going to have Danny Barch guard the ball. Montana is. She's quite long. Beasley to inbound. Looking to throw it long. Now she does far side. Lamardo gets the catch at the wing, and now she's going to look for Beasley. Beasley near side. They're going to trap her. Beasley dribbling to her left. 2 defenders there. Beasley throws it off Danny Barch's foot out of bounds. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Beasley will inbound again from the near sideline. And this pressure from Montana is giving the Bobcats all kinds of trouble. Lamardo gets in the corner, dribbles through traffic, finds Bad Bear. Bad Bear pump fakes, goes up with it off the glass, and one! That is a big-time play there by Cola Bad Bear. The Bobcats fight through the pressure, get it underneath to their all-conference post player. She goes up in traffic, gets the foul and the bucket, and the Cats with an 11-point lead now, looking to make it 12. Only a minute 45 left, and it's real quiet here in Dahlberg. Bad Bear at the line. And that assist by KJ Lamardo, of course, sponsored by Aware Mental Health Services. Bad Bear, first free throw on the way, and it's good. She knocks it down. Cats lead 72-60 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. That was a major bucket by Montana State. 1:42 to go. Time on the side of Montana State. It's Matt Koenig. She finds Fatkin. Fatkin looking to drive to her right, hands it off. Stump with it. Stump crosses over, pull-up jumper at the free throw line. Off the rim, no good from Stump. Dykstra gets the rebound, and she'll give it off to Beasley. Beasley throws it to Dykstra. They're going to bring that trap again. Dykstra throws it long to Lamardo. Lamardo to White. White has it near side of the wing. Now she gets it to Dykstra. No, it goes over the head of Dykstra. Turnover by Montana State. 72-60. Bobcats lead. 1:17 to go. So quiet you could hear a pin drop. Crossover Koenig. She drives, kicks to the corner. 3 on the way, off the rim, no good from Stump, and the rebound is pulled down by Dykstra. And Libby Stump has really cooled down in this 4th quarter as Beasley throws it back to Beasley. Beasley's got to get it across half court. She finds Dykstra. Dykstra still has her dribble. She passes back to White. White. Near side, pass to the corner. Lamardo's got an open 3. Could it be? Off the rim, no good. Rebound pulled down by Koenig. Lamardo gets in front, knocks it loose, and stolen away by Beasley. Beasley driving downhill. She's got space. Drives underneath the baseline, works towards the corner. Beasley's going to throw it back to White. Now the Bobcats can run off as much time as they want here. 37 seconds on the game clock, 20 on the shot clock, and no more pressure from the Grizzlies. Looks like a white flag from the University of Montana, and the Cats can run off the shot clock, put up one more shot, and that's going to do it for today's ball game. White with 6 on the shot clock. She's going to take Koenig one-on-one. White behind the back, pull-up, jumper, off the rim, no good. Rebound deflected out of bounds by G-Feller. And last touch by, they're going to say that was last touch by the Bobcats. That's all right, though. 15 seconds to go. 72-60. Montana State leads by 12 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. The Griz in the backcourt. Work it up the court. Koenig with 10 seconds left. They'll try and get one more shot up, I think. She kicks it to Markson. Markson looks to drive middle. Passes it back out to G-Feller. G-Feller back outside. Koenig, 3 from the corner. It's good. 72-63. Cats lead by 9. 2 seconds, 1 second, and the Bobcats come into Dahlberg and get the dub 72-63 over the Griz in matchup number 1 on the season. Big time win in a hostile environment for the Montana State Bobcats. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the Montana State postgame show sponsored by Rib and Chop House. At Montana's Rib and Chop House, our staff is dedicated to creating extraordinary experiences that raise the bar in each of our communities. Enjoy premium steaks, fresh seafood, and award-winning baby back ribs. We look forward to sharing a little Rocky Mountain hospitality with you. Your final on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard, 72-63. We'll have the postgame show coming up next. This is Bobcat basketball from Learfield. booth, bringing you the Montana State postgame show, sponsored by Rib and Chop House. Montana's Rib and Chop House has been serving Rocky Mountain communities for over 20 years. Our ability to grow has come through our commitment to Rocky Mountain hospitality, a concept which incorporates a casual attitude with our commitment to loyalty, safety, service, and quality food. We hope you'll be our guest at one of our Montana locations soon. Final score on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard: Montana State 72, Montana 63. And how about these Montana State Bobcats, folks? That is not one, not two, not three, but 4 wins in a row this season, and they should be very happy with how they're playing right now. They come in here to Dahlberg, brave the crowd, and get a big win to move on to 13-7 overall this season and 6-2 in Big Sky Conference play. That is just a gut check for Montana State. Tight game going into the third quarter, but then it was a 25-14 third quarter with the Bobcats outscoring the Lady Griz to create a double-digit lead for themselves going into the fourth quarter. And from there, they kept the Lady Griz at bay, getting a big-time victory here at Dahlberg Arena. And just a lot to be happy about with this Montana State team. Like I said, that's just a fantastic win. Let's go ahead and look at some final stats. Montana State finished this game 30 of 69 from the field, leading the way with where's the point? 22 points, and 9 of 16 from the field is Darian White. Right behind her with 13 points was Culla Badbear. She had a big second half. She finished 5 of 9 from the field. And also scoring big tonight was Grace Beasley. She scored 13 points, 6 of 10 shooting in this ball game. From 3, the Montana State Bobcats were 4 of 15 from beyond the arc. Those 4 threes, of course, brought to you by Wendy's. Looking at assists to turnovers, not the numbers the Bobcats necessarily wanted. They had 11 assists total, but they had 7 in the second half. So 11 assists, 9 turnovers. Those 11 assists brought to you in part by Aware Mental Health Services. And like I said, 72-63, the final score. A fantastic 9-point win by this Bobcat team. Moving down the sheet a little bit and looking at some numbers for the Montana Grizzlies. They finished 19 of 54 from the field, 35.2%. From 3, they were 10 of 27, and they were 15 of 18 from the free throw line. Leading them individually were their 2 freshmen off the bench. Libby Stump finished with 21 points, 7 of 15 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3. And Matt Koenig, 6 of 11 from the field, a perfect 4 for 4 from 3 for her. 72-63. The Bobcats win. I'm too busy looking at the clock, and I look at the time they put up there. 4:42 serves no purpose right now, but a big win for the Bobcats. Like I said, 72-63. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll have more of the Montana State postgame show, sponsored by Montana Rib and Chop House. This is Bobcat Basketball from Learfield. Back from the break, Daniel Sally here inside the First Interstate Bank broadcast booth. Your final score on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard, Montana State 72, Montana 63. This is the postgame show brought to you by Montana's Rib and Chop House. And boy, oh boy, the Bobcats go on the road to the Lady Griz, and they handle business. And the key in this win for Montana State, the third quarter, outscoring the Griz 25-14. It was a 2-point Bobcat lead at the half, turned into a 12-point lead, or 13-point lead, in the going into the fourth. And just, man, I'm sorry, I'm just like all wired up right now. So if I can't make out the perfect sentences, that's my fault. But that's an exciting win, and I'm very proud of this Montana State team. They're working hard, and a couple miscues early on in the conference season, but 4 straight wins, including a win in maybe the most hostile environment to play in the Big Sky. That says a lot about how hard this team's worked, and took a lot of ownership over those couple early losses, and now they're really playing some good basketball, and they're going to need to be playing some good basketball with the games coming up next week, having to play against Portland State and Sacramento State. This is going to be a big stretch for this Montana State team. And here comes a drenched Trisha Binford out of the locker room. Coach, pull up a chair, grab a headset. We got all day. I'm not in any rush.
Chick-fil-A now, right?
We can do whatever you got to do. We also got a whole bunch of pizza coming to the bus, so we can mix and match. I don't really
Either
care.
way.
You got your V8 on ice too. Wow.
Yep.
So, Coach,
Special day.
72-63, and I know this is a game you were excited for. The girls were jacked up for it, and they came in and jumped out to a big lead. All of a sudden, they're up 18-8. But the Griz hit some big shots. Libby Stump, Matt Koenig, those two off the bench were phenomenal today. But it seemed like it was that third quarter where you guys really started to run away with it, got the lead back to double digits, and really kept it that way until that final 3 to make it a 9-point game in the closing seconds. So talk about the play in the third quarter by your team, how they started that second half and set the tone for the rest of the game.
Well, I thought we really excuse me. Sorry.
That's okay.
I thought
Don't apologize for anything right now.
Well, maybe I lost my voice. Felt like we really defended middle penetration better out of the third. And I have probably said this way too much this year. I love the depth of this team. I really felt like the third quarter that started to show. Really pounded it through the post. Darian White, MVP today, big-time performance. I thought Grace Beasley had one of her best games as a Bobcat. To have those 2 point guards on the same night really give us great lifts. You know, the way the kids defended, obviously the 3 ball is something we want to get better at, but overall I felt like we controlled the post play today, we controlled the penetration today, and we responded to every play today. And we talked previously before going in to this game as no stat line about it. What headline do you want tomorrow of the characteristics of how we performed as a group? And I felt like the headline on that is going to be something that we're really proud of, on how we stayed together, how we focused, how we executed our game plan.
Well, Coach, I know there were a couple mishaps early on in the conference season. Obviously, a very forgettable loss at Idaho, then a home loss to NAU. Since then, you guys have turned around and won 4 straight games. You go on the road last week, beat an undefeated Idaho State team. You beat Weber State, and then you beat Idaho on a quick turnaround, 3 wins in 5 days. Now, probably the toughest task you've had, or this team has had, is to come into this arena with the noise, with the fans, and come in here and handle business. Talk about how your team's grown these last couple weeks and how it showed today.
I'll tell you what, this is not an easy place to play, and this is one of the most mature performances I've seen out of a Bobcat squad. And we've had a lot of great Bobcat squads perform here. And one of the things was in that stretch where they took the lead and the crowd got really on, and we just responded right away. You know, it's a tough environment. We were prepared for the environment. I thought our kids really learned some lessons from last year. And, you know, those are the things that are going to help you grow. Those are big growing steps, and I thought we took a big step in that today.
And how was the water bath in the locker room?
You know, this might be the most wet I've ever been.
Well, the material, you're wearing like a sweater, so that it has to be very absorbent.
I'm very glad my daughter and I went and got pedicures, manicures this week, because I got to take my shoes off. It was very wet in there. I love celebrating with this team. I tell you what, they earned the celebration today. We just had overall a complete total performance with this group.
Whatever they want to eat after the game, we will make that happen. Just make sure you wait for me. Don't leave me here. I know you guys are going to be ready to go, but I think a little more patience after a win like that.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, that's all I got for you. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Daniel.
That was Tricia Binford joining me on the Montana State postgame show, sponsored by Rib and Chop House, home of steak, seafood, baby back ribs, all that and more. We look forward to having some Rocky Mountain hospitality with you soon. Your final score on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard: Montana State 72, Montana 63. Game 1 of Cat Griz this season, a big win for the Montana State Bobcats. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll have more postgame. This is Bobcat basketball from Learfield. Back from the break, Daniel Sally here, bringing you the Montana State postgame show, brought to you by Montana's Rib and Chop House, home of premium steaks, fresh seafood, and award-winning baby back ribs, all served in a casual atmosphere. And final score on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard tonight: Montana State 72, Montana 63. And again, just a great win by this Montana State. Anytime you come into Dahlberg and win, that's a great win for your team. And this is one where this is circled on the calendar of most teams, and especially this Montana State team. And, you know, you go into Dahlberg, you take care of business, you deserve a pat on the back. And that is a nice job well done by Montana State. Let's go ahead and get into our McDonald's post-game delivery of the game. And tonight, with the outstanding performance, it was Darian White, 22 points for the senior point guard, 9 of 16 from the field, a perfect 1 of 1 from 3. Of course, that 3 sponsored by Wendy's. 3 of 4 from the free free throw line, and 7 rebounds, 2 assists. She was fantastic. No two ways about it. An MVP type of performance from the preseason MVP of the Big Sky. And that consistency, that star power that Darian White possesses to come into a game like this, in an environment like this, and play that way, that's why she earns the accolades she does. It's just a fantastic job by Darian White, the senior point guard. That was presented by your locally owned and operated McDonald's of Montana. Grace Beasley, again, was fantastic tonight as well. Beasley finishing with 13 points on 6 of 10 shooting, and Cola Badbear 13 points on 5 of 9 shooting. So the seniors for Montana State coming in and doing their part, getting a win here at Dahlberg. Big win over the Grizzlies. Final score 72-63. Let's go ahead now and listen to our highlights of the game, sponsored by First Security Bank. Okay, I can hear him, so I just have him turned down pretty low. Back from the break, Daniel Sally here inside the First Interstate Bank broadcast booth, bringing you the Montana State post-game show, sponsored by Rib and Chop House, home of premium steaks, fresh seafood, and award-winning baby back ribs, all served in a casual atmosphere. Final score today on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard: the Montana State Bobcats roll into Dahlberg and knock off the Lady Griz 72-63. Just a tough environment to win in, but no problem tonight for Montana State as they just were able to brave the storm, handled the crowd with grace, and they took care of business. And no pun intended, of course, Grace Beasley with a fantastic game. Her and Darian White, the 2 point guards of this Montana State team, combining for 35 points, 22 from White, 13 from Beasley, and that's just a masterclass on how to play the point guard position by those two. Again, fantastic win, 72-63 for Montana State, a significant win on their calendar. You know, this is a game they circle, and they want to take care of business, and tonight they did, and they're going to have a chance to do it again in Bozeman on February 18th as well. So we'll see you all there at that one at the Brick. Now let's go ahead and look at the Bobcats' next game versus Portland State, presented by Vance Thompson Vision, the official LASIK and cataract surgeon of the Montana State Bobcats. And the Portland State Vikings, they're a good team, but they've been pretty up and down just looking at their conference schedule. They lost to Sacramento State to open things up and lost to Eastern Washington, but they beat Idaho by 10. They beat Northern Arizona by 12. We all know how tough Northern Arizona is. They lost to Northern Colorado by 19. They beat Weber State by 1. Right now they're down by 7 to Idaho State in the third quarter, 36-29. So this is a team they've gone really back and forth, so not a lot of consistency there from the Vikings of Portland State, but we know what they're capable of. I mean, you see it, any team that can beat Northern Arizona by 12 points and also hold that offense to 66 points with how good Reagan Skank is and the rest of that team, I mean, that is a feat in its own. So definitely keep an eye out for this Portland State team coming up on Thursday night. Again, it should be a great game. They're going to look to snap a winning streak by Montana State that is now 4 games long. That game, again, Thursday at the Brick, 7 o'clock tip-off. We'll have that coming to you on the Bobcat Sports Radio Network at 6:45. That's going to do it for our broadcast tonight here at Dahlberg Arena. Final score, Cat Griz, Montana State 72, Montana 63 on the First Interstate Bank scoreboard. And again, just so proud of this team. Again, they've been working their butts off, and they just continue to rise to the occasion. A couple tough spots at the beginning of the conference season, but now they're rolling. They're rolling, and better get out of the way because this team, when they're at their best, they are really, really good. And we saw again why today, 72-63, a 9-point win at Montana. But that's going to do it for today's broadcast. For the head coach, Tricia Binford, and for Megan back in the studio, I'm Daniel Sally saying have a great Saturday. And don't forget, tonight we'll have the men's leg of Cat Griz at 7 o'clock. Keaton Galogli and Brian Preby will go live from Dahlberg at 6:30 on the Bobcat Sports Radio Network. So you're not going to want to miss that one because this place is going to be packed again, and it's going to be probably a really good game again, and just a couple of good teams going at it. So we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Like I said, Daniel Sally saying good night from Dahlberg. Thanks for listening. Montana State basketball from Learfield.